I'm blessed to have two godly parents. I was raised in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. My dad is an elementary school teacher, and so I had the privilege of having my dad as a teacher. In fact, also my mom homeschooled me as well. And when I finally made my way to my dad's classroom, my mom came along as the teacher's aide, and so I had a real firm education. It kind of was a family affair. But my journey in ministry began when I was 8 years old. And one Sabbath after church, I accosted my pastor in the hallway, and I said, "Pastor, I want to preach." And to my shock, he pulled out his calendar from his pocket and he jotted down a date for me to preach in both of his churches. So with my dad's help, I prepared a sermon using 3x5 cards, 1 point to each card, 1 verse on each card, and my sermon title was "God is Love." I had to tote a step stool with me to church so I could see over the pulpit. And 10 minutes later, I was done. I was a preacher, and Dad and I were off to the other church to do it all over again. And that response from my pastor of saying yes and giving me an opportunity to be involved in ministry, that's really what opened the door for me and gave me a sense that maybe this is where God is calling me. And over the years, there were others who confirmed that and provided guidance and encouragement. And of course, Adventist education played a key role in that. Went to elementary school, of course, homeschooled and with my dad in his school. Went to academy in Oklahoma, had lots of opportunities to be involved in ministry there. And then probably the best educational move was going to Southern Adventist University. Because of a quality education, of course, but most importantly, that's where I met my wife. And that really was life transforming. And I'm really blessed to have Linda in my life. After that, pastored for a few years in Jasper and Ellijay, Georgia, under the leadership of Mike Conley, who was the senior pastor there. Then it was up to seminary for a couple years. And of course, then now for the last couple years down here in Morristown and Rogersville. And with a growing family, we have a little boy, Gavin, and God's really blessed with a wonderful family, a wife who loves the Lord, great in-laws, and a wonderful little boy, and 2 great churches. And so just really praise the Lord for the opportunity to be in ministry today.
Well, my dad is a pastor, so I grew up as a pastor's kid. So I became very acquainted with the world of the pastor very early on. Both my parents did an awesome job raising my 2 brothers and I. I guess I never actually thought I would marry a pastor. I guess I thought I wouldn't. And I'm very glad God led that way. And it was a process, at Southern. We met, and it became very clear that this was God's will for us to be together. And I do feel that God has called both of us into ministry. And I'm so excited. This is a very special day to have everyone here and affirming Sean's call to the ministry. And it's just a very happy day for all of us.
It's really an honor to have God's people, my church family, here locally, but our conference, our union, recognize that God has called us to be involved, to really dedicate our lives to pastoral ministry. And I think about Paul and Barnabas when they were about to embark on the first missionary journey, and the local church gathered around and says, "We don't want you to go off and go on this mission to proclaim the gospel until we have a chance to dedicate you and to pray for you and to put our hands on you and commit you to the Lord." And so I think of it much in those terms, that this is my family gathering around me, gathering around us to let us know that they recognize that God has called us to be involved in ministry, in pastoral ministry, and saying, "Hey, we don't want you to go any further in this ministry until we have a chance to just commit you to the Lord, to dedicate you, to pray for you." And so it's a really special day for us.